Whoa!
Welcome back, everybody. We just made it halfway through the road of sacrifices. So now we're going to continue into the swamp area. This is the main portion of the road of sacrifices. Come on down the straight path, and you'll meet a new enemy, which are hollows wielding giant twigs. These guys are not to be messed with. They take about as much damage as any normal hollow, but deal way more. And when they stack up on you, they can stagger you quite easily. So there are many cases where you can get ganged up on and die really quickly. Now luckily, they also freak out when they get hit by fire, leaving them open to follow-up attacks. And there are 4 at the bottom of the hill. So make sure you take care of those 4. And then we're actually going to loop around back when we hit the bottom of the hill to find another twig hollow and a dog. Sneak up behind the dog because that will jump at you immediately, whereas the hollow takes a minute to get up. And we get a Titanite shard. Backtrack the way you came, all the way up until the hill is going to curve around back towards the bonfire. But instead, look left. And there's an area where we can drop down. This is where the dog and the hollow were just a moments ago. And you drop down again for another item. Drop down one more time, and you'll be on the far right side of this massive lake with a couple of new enemies. The first one being these mushroom insectoid things that can leap at you, and they can shake and spew poison gas in all directions. But they go down very easily. The problem is noticing when the gas is coming out, because they don't move very much. And then we have our second enemy, which has his back turned. He's the one we need to worry about. I think it's known as a ghoul, or like a cross-bearing ghoul of some kind, something like that. They're extremely fast, extremely aggressive, and hit extremely hard. Luckily, again, the Dark Hand can stagger them to a degree, and this one in particular has his back turned. So we can sneak up and just start pounding on him. And they take 5 hits with the Dark Hand at my current stats. And we have 2 more insects. Don't worry about the tiny crabs out there, we'll deal with them. Especially considering you might be able to see far off in the distance there. There's a much larger crab that would not like me hitting the baby ones. There's another one right there in the distance, if you can see it. We'll take care of those giant crabs in a moment, but right now we want to take care of this insect, and we want to do it quickly because there's another ghoul on the left of them. So run up and hit this, and then switch your focus over to the ghoul, maybe even switch over to the fireball. Oh, I did not know I had that on. He's got that bite attack. The biggest one you will want to watch out for is he has like a very fast, like 5 or 6 hit combo. If you see him swinging both of his arms wildly, just stay back until it's obvious that he's done. Because that attack can tear through you. But as with most humanoid enemies, most smaller enemies, you can just kind of strafe around the right side and attack when you get a chance. On the right of this building, we have a locked gate with a crystal lizard on the other side. But down the hall, we have our very first Black Knight. If anyone's played Dark Souls 1, you know these men are also not to be trifled with. And unfortunately, they are resistant to fire. Now, having said that, you can still pelt him with fire as he approaches you, but I like to stick to my tried and true method of circling around to the right, just as I mentioned earlier. So get his aggro. Come around to the right, because they're very easy to backstab. And for every point of resistance they have in fire, they are weak to dark. And if you're lucky, you'll get a drop off of them. After you kill them, go around to the balcony and head up this way to find the sellsword armor, which is very good armor for its weight class. And then we can drop down here and turn around for the sellsword twin blades, which are arguably the best dexterity weapon in the entire game. People have said when you upgrade sellsword twin blades to sharp and have dexterity up to 50 or 60, you do more DPS than almost any weapon. And you also get the Farron Coal, which lets you do sharp infusions. And we got a sharp gem from the crystal lizard by the dilapidated bridge. So, if you were going the route of a dexterity warrior, then I highly recommend you travel back to Firelink Shrine, give the Farron Coal to Andre, and upgrade your sellsword twin blades as much as you can, and infuse them with sharp. We, however, will not be doing that. Instead, we will be heading back to the bottom of the hill where we first started to backtrack. Oop, that's right, you can't go around that way. You want to stick to the wall, though, because you don't want to accidentally pull the giant crab just yet. And you want to stick to this wall. So there's the hill we came down. Come to the right of it if you're facing the hill. And stick to the wall, and you've got a couple of insects on your right. So we can go ahead and take care of them. And we have an item in the corner here. We have another insect right behind us. Another one here. And when we reach the end here, you can go down where there are a slew of insects. They can gang up on you, so just rush in, hit one twice, and then back out. If one emits a poison cloud, wait for the insects to either get out of its range or for it to dissipate completely. Alright, two more. And we get our Titanite shard. More insects up behind us, but also a twig hollow. So make sure to be careful of them. And now we're going to make our way to this item. Being careful of the twig hollow with his back turned. And being careful of the 3 twig hollows patrolling right here. But we get a twin dragon great shield, which is good if you're a strength build. We have a twig hollow sitting down here on the other side of this tree. And I've gained the attention of the 3 hollows here. Well, just one of them, which is perfect. Because we got another twig hollow here I want to take care of. Now let's take care of these 2. See, they deal massive damage if they break through your guard. And they have that charge attack that just sheds your stamina. Okay, we're heading towards this archway, but be careful because there is a hollow there, and there's a dog right in front of it. Ah, what? There we go. Let's heal up. We're close to a bonfire. Let's go ahead and take care of this hollow to get some free souls. There we go. Get the item next to the archway. Go under the archway and then loop around on the right to find the next bonfire. You might consider taking a rest because now we are going to tackle the swamp itself. Before we actually get to it, let's come over this way where there's some items. Hold off on getting this item quite just yet, because as you approach it, a ghoul gets up from his resting place and will charge at you. But again, with the Dark Hand, you can stun lock them. So now we can pick up that item. Make our way down towards the fire where there's another item, but also another ghoul on the right. So take care of him first. Then grab the ember and what I think is an Estus shard, or it might be an undead bone shard. At the end, be careful of the hollows that are bound to fall on you. Ow. Okay. So now it's time to fight a giant crab. Drop on down, start killing these little guys. They take 1 hit currently, and you will eventually draw the attention of the big one. These can attack back, so do keep that in mind. And here he comes. We're going to hold our guard up and just strafe around him. He's got some slams. He's got a double-handed slam, double claw slam. That one. That one. And then just take pot shots when you can. Keep your guard up. It'll either do 1 swing with the small claw, it'll do 2 slams with the small claw, 1 slam with the big claw, or the double slam. And then sometimes, let me see if I can get it to do it, it'll try to, there it is, it'll spit bubbles at you, which deal minimal damage, but slow you down to a crawl, making it easier to get hit. The only other thing to pay attention to is there are 2 moves where his mouth froths up. If he kind of shakes while he's frothing up and keeps his claws close to his face, then he's just going to spit bubbles, which you can easily sidestep. But If he doesn't do as much shaking and raises his big claw up in the air, then he's about to go for a grab attack, which can deal massive damage. So that you want to roll away from. Just backpedal a couple of times, and you should be just fine. So, with him gone, we can get this item. And we're actually going to turn around, and we're going to go into this little alcove here. But be careful, as just to the right is another ghoul. And he's going to get up the minute you come around the corner. So, give him a good pummeling, and then we can get the Sage Ring and the Sorcerer's Garb. Sage Ring is one of the best rings that we can get for a Pyromancer. It's going to be another one that we put on and never take off, because it shortens the spell casting time. One of the biggest downfalls of a Pyromancer is it has some of the lengthier spells, offensive spells. Miracle casters also have slow casting time. Heal specifically is very slow. We'll tackle that later. Let's get to the swamp first. Or... no, we can tackle this now. Yeah, let's do this now. Go up these stairs, and there'll be a hollow in this building. But be very careful, because there is a spear hollow, and more importantly, a mage hollow up above us on a balcony. Up these stairs. The mage hollow can deal incredible damage with its spells. Got that one. So be very careful. Ow. Alright, bail. Ow. Alright, you gotta die. Okay. With that person down, there's a few things we want to do. First is kill the crystal lizard that's in here. To get a crystal gem. Go ahead and heal up while I'm at it. Then we want to come back to the balcony and drop down to the next level. And behind us is another Ring of Sacrifice. Start back up those stairs one more time, but this time go forward through the broken wall here. Drop down, and it will eventually lead us to drop down again. A golden falcon shield. Drop down one more time. Come out for large soul of an unknown traveler. Okay, now we're gonna fight some NPCs. There's one there, and you can barely see in the back on the top of the stairs, wedged in the corner, is a second one. If you walk close enough to pull this NPC in front of you, then that means you're gonna get close enough to pull the other one. So instead, we have to use the crossbow in order to get rid of them. Because we don't want to fight both at the same time. And I'm going to use fireballs because we want to stay as far away from this guy and his great club as possible. He can heal, so make sure you keep pelting him so that he doesn't heal. He's gonna keep trying too. When he dies, you can inherit his great club, which is arguably the best weapon for strength builds. And now we can fight the next one. So let me fill up on my FP. This one you can pull by just walking forward. There are no other enemies to worry about. Again, just stay far away. If he gets close, roll away. Ow. Oh. But yeah, it's gonna hit the tree. Quit jumping. Go back away. You want to avoid that. That hits a lot. And does a lot of damage. When he dies, you get the Exile Greatsword. And I got lucky to inherit a couple of Estus flasks while I was at it. Okay, so with them out of the way, there's an item at the edge of the water here for some decent armor. Fill up on FP again. Now all we have to do is kill a couple more little crabs, one more giant crab. I always get lost on exactly which of the trees have items next to them. Okay, it's none of these. So continue along the lake. There's the second giant crab. So we do want to be wary of that guy. And keep in mind that you need to pull this crab back because the water directly around him is slightly deeper than the water we're in now and will slow you down considerably. So you don't want to fight him over there. You want to pull him back. There's the grab attack. I like to strafe around to the right, and when he attacks, you just hit him back with one attack. Don't get greedy. And after killing the second crab, no matter what order you kill them in, you get the Great Swamp Ring, which would have been nice if we didn't already have one from our starting gear. And no, you cannot equip two. Now we can finish off the rest of these crabs. Loot any items you see. The main one we're going to be looking for is by this tree here, which is on the tip of the cliff where the bonfire was, because we want the Grass Crest Shield. That's a very good shield whenever you have a boss fight that you can't block, because then you can just two-hand your weapon and use the Grass Crest Shield on your back, which gives you a static bonus to your stamina recovery speed. So it makes it very useful for those bosses. Which granted, in Dark Souls 3 is not many, but you never know. Okay. There's a few more items over by where the giant crab was originally. See, this is where your speed slows down. Most importantly is the Conjurator's Garb and the Great Swamp Pyromancy Tome. Our first Pyromancy Tome of the game that lets us improve Cornyx's inventory of spells. In these low mobility areas, by the way, because this is not the only one we're going to find. A trick to sprinting, because you can't actually sprint, I'm holding down the run button right now and nothing's happening, is you can just mash the dodge button and you move a little bit faster. Hey, another crab. While we're here, we're going to do two things. We're gonna go this way, where the 2 NPCs were that we killed. Continue straight past the ladder for some homeward bones, and then double back to the ladder. We're gonna climb down. And we're gonna activate this bonfire to save us some time later. But do not rest at it. Unless you want to have to kill the giant crabs again, do not rest at it. Climb back up the long ladder. And we're gonna use one of our embers to take on an NPC invader that appears in the swamp, which is why we did not want to rest at the bonfire, because we're gonna be doing a big fight in this area, and we don't want to pull either of the giant crabs, so we want them to stay dead. Speaking of that, let's clear out some more of these little ones. Alright, so let's ember up. And we'll spawn in an NPC right around here named Yellowfinger Hysel, who uses a crossbow, some sorceries, and a pick, which is very annoying because it gets around your guard. And he's got a couple of Estus flasks. All of the invaders have Estus flasks, so keep that in mind. Make sure he doesn't break your guard, because he can then critical strike you as well. Just strafe around him, get your hits in. When you see him two-handing, you might want to back away. Stop. There we go. Just have to brute force him. But when you kill him, you get several souls, the Xanthus crown, some Estus flasks, and the Hysel pick. Yep, get out of here. What the heck do you think you're doing? Okay. And that should be everything we can do around the swamp. So now we're going to head back to the bonfire, which, if you had to rest, or like me, you died, then it might be better to just use a homeward bone rather than having to fight these hollows again. And I'm going to risk going this way and taking care of this dog. And then any hollows I may have pulled. Alright, and now let's take this time to do some re-upping at the Firelink Shrine. And make our push to the boss. When we come back, you may notice a new NPC has spawned in. This is Sirius of the Sunless Realms. Cirrus.
You're an unkindled, aren't you? I am duped, I doubt. Bless.
Exhaust her dialogue, because we're gonna need her to finish her quest line for some special items. Then I'm actually gonna go here underneath Hawkwood, the Deserter, because I want to talk to Yuria to further her quest line, which you can do once you meet Henri.
Speak honorable. That a lord error for the time thou and I, of course. that a lord bearer for the and have
Exhaust our
till
dialogue.
the meeting may the
She is critical to the ending we're trying to achieve. Notice Grey Rat is gone because we sent him pillaging. Most importantly, though, we can give... We'll come back to that in a second. Both the Braille Divine Tome.
Oh, champion of Ash, I was not my god's enemy. Oh, now tales what fun.
And you can learn any miracles you want. I suggest, if you're going to, wait until you get this particular Divine Tome, because then you can get medium heal, rather than just getting heal right out the gate. Med heal is much better. Homeward is also fun, because it acts as a repeatable homeward bone, which is nice. And she also sells Saint's Ring, which we're going to buy near the end of the game. Near the end of this first playthrough is when I'm going to purchase all of the sorceries and rings and pyromancies and miracles that we have to buy
Have a
from
pleasant
vendors
day.
and not find in the world around us. I like to wait until the very end, and I always do it on the first playthrough because that's my 100% playthrough. Then I can just speed through playthroughs 2 and 3. Wait, Cornix. Now we need to talk to our pyromancer.
Ah, there I am.
Give him a pyromancy
Yes,
tome.
yeah, with this.
And now you can buy Fire Orb, which is a improved version of Fireball. So this is the first thing first pyromancy we're gonna buy. You can also get Bursting Fireball, which is shoddy. Poison Mist is good, but we'll get Toxic Mist for free later. And again, we'll also get Flash Sweat for a later area. A later area. Okay, can we reinforce the flame? No, I didn't think so.
Do not be God. What is it?
Alright, so with that done, we also want to go to Andre,
Ah, it is good, wasn't he?
because we can give him a coal.
Oh, use the fun now, raise the.
And now, so before the coal, we could have done refined weapons, raw, which give you equal strength and dexterity scaling to a weapon. Raw gems increase, or raw weapons increase their base damage but get rid of all scaling. And we could have done fire, I think, at the beginning, yeah. We can do refined, raw, and fire at the beginning of the game, and now we can do heavy, which gives you extra strength scaling, sharp, which gives you extra dexterity scaling, and poison, which adds poison, as you might imagine. Okay. Again, we'll be doing all of these, in due time. But we also want to reinforce our Estus Flask. And keep it 6 and 2 for now. Our next one will add to the Ashen Estus Flask to make it 6 and 3. You can't upgrade the Dark Hand, so don't even bother trying. We can, however, sell a bunch of stuff here. What can we get rid of? See, again, we want to keep our embers. I want to keep my embers at 5. Still debating if I want to sell the Siegbrow. I never use it. And you get more. You can trade them into Pickle Pea and Pumperum for items. But I never do that. Same for the Green Blossoms. I never use those. I do use pellets. Don't use these. Could sometimes use these, although I find myself never using them personally. Stick to 5 Homeward Bones, and then sell all my souls. And then never, ever, ever sell any of these Covenant items. What else can we sell? Anything here? Nope. Have I gotten any repeat weapons? I don't think so. I haven't seen very many weapons dropping off of enemies. The only way you get repeats is like the Broken Straight Sword drops a lot, so sometimes you end up with multiples. Same for the armor. The only way you get multiples is from the ones that drop off of enemies. Which I don't think I've had any multiple ones fallen off. I do have 2 rings of sacrifice though, so we can sell one of those, or you can feel free to use it. And we have 2 great swamp rings, so we can get rid of those as well.
Ashen?
Alright. So let's see where that
Welcome
puts
home,
us.
Hysel.
30,000 souls.
Very well, then take note.
So we're still getting faith and intelligence up to 20 each. After that, we want to work towards 14 endurance.
Farewell, Ashen.
Let's rest at the bonfire. I don't think I have any undead bone shards, right? Nope. But we do want to equip the fire orb. We have more spell slots than we personally need. Again, you could buy Great Combustion and add that in if you want. I'm just getting attunement, not for the spell slots yet. I will be using them in the future, but right now I'm just using it to get extra FP. So with that all done, let's head back to Crucifixion Woods to take on the boss. Head straight and to your left so that we can avoid the dog down here. It is possible to pull him from the bonfire. And we need to take on these 2 guys. So rush and take out one before the other can even react. Something of note is over here. We have a summon sign for a Mad Phantom, the Holy Knight Hodrick. Mad Phantoms can attack both you and the creatures in your world, so it makes it not worth it unless you're raring for a fight. They can help you because they can kill enemies on your behalf, but if he notices you, he'll try to go for your throat as well. In here, we need to rush this lantern holder before he activates the others, but you have to be careful of the sorcerer standing up top. So take care of him. He will always drop down right there, by the way. So kill the lantern guy first, and then immediately kill the sorcerer. And then we've got an item in the back corner here, a nice staff. And then we've got some hollows that we can farm for some easy experience, because they don't strike back. There's one there, one on the wall here. There was one on the chair here that I already took care of, and then there's one sitting down on the floor here. And 2 more up here. There's nothing down that way. But there is a spear hollow to the right here. Going down this direction leads back to the hallway that had the crystal lizard, which leads back to the room with the sorcerer and the spear wielder on the staircase, which we already took care of. Going this way, you get into this little area. Be careful of these stairs because it's easy to fall down there. But you can head this way and up these. And then immediately to the right, there's nothing there but a dead end. To find a new NPC.
Well, this is unexpected. What do you want? This is my... If you have...
I think you have to have 10 intelligence to ask him to learn sorceries.
How intriguing.
Because he
Very
judges
well.
you and then says very well.
Indeed,
and if you
I
don't
am a
have enough
sorcerer.
intelligence, he won't say that.
However,
If you do, though, he will teleport back to Firelink Shrine as long as you make a promise to get him scrolls. He's who's going to sell us the majority of our sorceries. Go to the other side of this area where there's a staircase with an item on it. There's some blue bug pellets, and then you can drop down to take care of this hollow. Ow. Yeah, see, be careful because there are others. There's one sitting down right here, though, that's easy to take care of. then stick to here because there's a sorcerer right there, and there's another sorcerer at his back. So try to kill this one fast before the other sorcerer notices you. Who's right there. Take care of that guy. And now we can take care of this guy. And then we can take care of the last one. Alright, and that's everybody between you and the boss. So we can now take this time to summon Egon, if you are embered. If you're not, I suggest you do so. And we're also going to switch all of our armor because we're about to fight the Crystal Sage, who deals primarily magic damage and very little physical damage. So we can actually take this opportunity to switch our shield to something with better magical resistance, because right now this just absorbs 44, whereas that's 47, there's 70. So yeah, we have two that absorb 70, and you want the one with the highest stability in the case of a tie. So let's go with the blue wooden shield. And what do we got here? We're looking for magic. So 4.4, 4.6, 5.0. So the cleric gear is probably the best. Oop. That's 13.1, so maybe it's the sorcerer gear. Pyromancer's wraps. I'm looking at who's got the highest magic number. Right now it's 3.5, and then after that, physical. So 6.0, 7.1. So there's a tie, but all the physical, all but one of the physicals is worse. So I'm going to stick with the Pyromancer trousers. And yep, that'll be good. You could also, if you wanted to, equip... Oh, I guess we don't have it yet. Never mind. There is a flame stoneplate ring, or magic stoneplate ring, that increases magic damage absorption, but we don't have it yet, so forget about it. Alright. So the way this fight works, let's switch to Fire Orb, is phase 1 is going to be just the Crystal Sage. You just rush him and attack, and after he takes so much damage, he will teleport. And when phase 2 begins, the same concept will happen, except when he teleports, he also summons a bunch of clones. You can tell them apart because the Crystal Sage shoots purple magic, whereas the clones all shoot blue. And they all have your standard spells. They have a very slow-moving crystal that homes in. They have a large beam. They have, what else? They have a little ball that shoots up in the air and then rains down little pellets. They have like a beam that shoots down on the ground and comes straight towards you and leaves behind a trail of crystal. But as long as you're quick, the minute you walk through that, you get attacked. There's the slow-moving crystal. So just go really aggressive on them. That's this whole boss fight, is being very aggressive, looking around, seeing where he's going to spawn in, keeping your guard up. Because once you start hitting him, he will disappear. Right about now is when I think he'll spawn in once. There he is. And then immediately disappear. Oh, see, he does a lot of damage. So now he should spawn in the clones. Nope. Ah, yes. See, there's the clones, so... What you want to do is just go... The clones all take one hit to kill. So I like to just stand in the middle and look around and hit whatever's nearest. If it's a clone, then so be it. If it's a real person, then that's fine. So there's the real one. We're so dead. There, we did it. That was super lucky. He does have a sword, so he can deal physical damage. I got wedged in the corner here, so I just started mashing the B button. But you get a trophy for that. And a bonfire. And his soul. So now, with that done, we are actually going to go straight back to Firelink Shrine, even though we just came from there. Also gonna go ahead and switch all my stuff back. So where were we? Oop. Silver Eagle. I'll tell you what, let's level and stuff first. So the reason we came back here is because for the next area we need a torch. So we can go ahead and sell the soul of the crystal sage. I haven't gotten anything new, so don't worry about the rest of it. And we need to buy us a torch, which is right there. So buy a torch.
Ashen one, be sure to...
And what you can do, what I like to do, is we can get rid of the light crossbow now. We're not going to need it for quite a while, or at all, I think. And equip the torch in my left hand, number 2. Let's see if we can get any levels.
Very well, then take note.
And again, we're shooting for 14 endurance, so just one more of those, and we'll be good to go.
Farewell, Ashley.
And then let's get our best gear on. Can we fit all the northern armor again? We can. Can we do anything better? So see, the sellsword armor is better than the northern armor and weighs just as much. Do we have anything better than that? Does not look like it. For your generic areas, your generic enemies, I like to have the armor that just has the best physical damage reduction. The minor enemies tend not to deal magic or fire or lightning or anything like that. Some of them do, but not many. So I always default to whoever has the best physical armor and then change it up for the bosses. And I like the ones that have like a better average. So like, for example, well, the Fallen Knight Trousers is better in two ways than the Northern Trousers, but they're much better. So yeah, we'll go with those. Iron bracelets. Ooh. Ooh, look at that. Better in every way. And we're still below 70%. This is great. Yep, perfect. You can also go ahead and unequip the standard bolts, probably. In fact, I'm probably fixing to sell all those. I'll hang on to them just in case, because I don't remember if you need them. I don't think you need them anymore, but like I said, just in case. Alright. And we got all the rings where we want them, so we're good to go. So, let's travel back to the Crystal Sage area, excuse me. And we are going to then carry on to the Cathedral of the Deep. But that will be next time. So until then, stay safe.